Hey, 500 subscribers. Looks like you guys do actually enjoy the weird that I create. Alright guys, so we're going to be talking about some pretty kind of controversial stuff with electric unicycles and just like pricing as well. Normally I would just be chatting about it in front of a desk, but I thought I'd give you guys something to watch. We're going to be talking about the veteranoryx a little bit here. Obviously I don't have one because I'm not insane to be paying that price for it, but we're going to be talking about that. And what it's like to really be an EUC kind of content creator. Now, I'm not very big as a content creator. Like celebration, we got to 500 subscribers, but it's the price of EUCs. I don't know if anyone else feels like this, but for the prices that we're paying, and for the EUC to be replaced or updated with a new EUC, a year later, is just kind of, it's always just kind of been frustrating, you know? I bought this Begode Falcon right as it came out, and it's been great, like, kind of throughout. But, like, right after the Falcon came out, the Arrow came out. So, whenever I would post content, it would just kind of, I would get the one commenter saying, oh, hey, the Begode Falcon is old news, right? It's like, dude, I just bought the Falcon. Like, I'm just covering a bit of the content, and now we're saying it's old news? Like, come on. You know, you spend like a couple $1,000s, and we get hit pretty hard here in Canada, right? So this might not affect, I don't know how many actual YouTubers are doing EUCs in Canada, but if you are, you know the struggle with trying to, like, if you're not sponsored by anyone, by InMotion, by Veteran, whatever, if you're not sponsored, then you're in charge of selling that wheel literally a week or 2 weeks after you do your video review, your video, like, timeline with it, and then it's old news. Because EUCs are just moving way too fast. Like, yeah, okay, we've got wheels like the Oryx that are hitting 100 kilometers an hour now, right? That's all good and well, but no one, you know, the Lynx is pretty well old news now, you know, and eventually the Oryx will be old news. But it's the difference in time. And I had an S22. I had InMotion V11 as well, and I sold those because I wanted to keep trying to catch up with the times, right? Because every new EUC, better clicks, right? But it keeps, every EUC gets replaced within what? Let's say 6 months. There's always a new iteration that's better in every way, every couple months. And, you know, who has the money to be paying $3,000-4,000 Canadian for that kind of stuff, right? I'll turn off here. Ooh. We're on a street tire right now, so I'm not doing any gravel. But, like, I had an S22, and it had its problems, but it was a great wheel for the year that I had it. I sold that wheel because my buddy got me into Telerias and Surons and bikes and everything like that. That was all good and fun, but all it took was one guy in our group to piss off the cops and ban Telerias, or not ban them, but give, you know, verbal online warning that, hey, if you're going to be riding these things, that you're going to get it impounded, right? Ooh. Ah, wet. Water. Let's get out of here. This thing's pretty waterproof, but I wouldn't really chance it. You know, I've been having this happening a lot with my Insta360. I have to keep checking that fucking light because it just stops recording around 7 minutes or so. So I gotta keep watching that. So back to what I was saying about the veteran Oryx and the fact that like this EUC right here gets replaced so quickly, or any EUC, and it just like Begode or InMotion, they won't, you know, have parts for that EUC or for you to repair, so you're pretty well like screwed, right? So what I'm saying is like you're paying what is the veteran Oryx now? It's $7,000 Canadian. $7,000, like almost $7,000 before tax. It's like that's the price of a good motorcycle. You know, that's the price of a decent car. It's like I had heard about, like, I had watched a YouTube video of this guy ranting that there isn't any more pure EUC enthusiasts. And it's like, yeah, no, because the hobby is so expensive to keep that no one's going to be doing it. Like, you basically have to get your 2 weeks of content in, or whatever, get a couple videos in, and then that's it. You have to sell that wheel before you start losing money, and people will move on to other EUCs, right? Like, there are some that will be talked about for a very long time. Anything veteran makes, okay, like the Lynx, but the Lynx is still almost $6,000. So what do we do? Like, so that's what I'm saying, is that there's too many EUCs on the market to review, and who has that kind of money, you know, to review it, unless you're buying and selling like super quickly, or you're sponsored, right? So, and it would be great to be sponsored, you know, 500 subs, yeah, maybe we might get lucky. But if you're just outright buying EUCs out of pocket just to review, and then you're stuck with it, and then it gets discontinued up to as early as 6 months. It's like, what are we doing, right? No, of course I'm not going to focus solely on EUCs. Ooh, my legs are tired today. But yeah, no, this thing's been great, and it will probably be great for another year or two, but trying to sell it, wow, I'm probably going to lose quite a bit of money, because there will probably be a Falcon Pro or whatever in 6 months' time, and then it will totally replace this, and then there goes your dollar value, right? So buying an Oryx for buying an Oryx for $7,000 just doesn't seem viable. Buying a Sherman L or whatever for $6,000, still, it's too much just for it to be replaced a year later. Especially if you are a Canadian YouTuber, like an actual Canadian EUC YouTuber. There's probably a few of you out there. We only get like 6 good months before the snow hits, and then that's it, right? We have an EUC and we're out of date as soon as the next one comes out in that 6 months time. So, you know, that's all that's really pissing me off. I'd love to have, like, I'm just excited to buy maybe a Lynx if I can save the money, right? Now, I don't know if I'm just in the minority here of feeling that way. You don't even need to be a YouTuber to really understand how upsetting it is that you buy a product, like a primo product, just for it to be replaced, especially if you're riding in like a group and you're showing off to your friends, just for it to be replaced within like 6 months to a year, right? And then have no parts for it, or having to 3D print your own parts. So yeah, no, that's the struggle of being into this hobby, is just there's too many wheels coming out at ridiculous prices. And yeah, Would I love to have a veteranryx? Absolutely. I'm going to be saving up the money for it. But I can't review it, right? Because by the time I have it saved up, next year or whatever, it's already old news. That's the problem. Already old news. So what? Do I save up for an Oryx? Do I wait and see what everyone's coming out with and then try and capitalize on that? No, that's the problem, is that it's just too difficult to be a pure EUC enthusiast. No, that's pretty well all I wanted to rant about today. Now, I might be in the minority for all this, and that's fine. You guys can leave your comments down below and I'll listen to you guys. And for the people who don't seem to struggle with buying EUCs at all, then more power to you. Make some videos. Enjoy your EUC. Whatever you want to do. But I think it's a pretty big problem. And it's the reason why I have to do content on other stuff. Oh, hey, crazy carts. Oh, hey, I can do, my motorcycle videos that I do. And people seem to like that. Install videos. At least those products aren't going to get replaced within a year. 6 months to a year. So, we'll see. I'm going to try and save up for a Lynx, and it's going to be old as shit. But at least, I'll have something a little bit faster, a little bit more reliable than this thing. Even though this thing's been fucking great. So, I will see you guys in the next video. It's probably going to be either a crazy cart or another Honda Monkey video. Like, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.